and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the G-Series League of Legends Division 1 game between Cerberus Blue and NSG, which is Nuclear Storm Gaming. I completely forgot how they said their name there for a second. I am Machine Bloodpenguin Malloy, and joining me today is pretty much as always a standard now, going to be Ty Celtic Tiger Brennan. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Looks like I'm
Yes.
looking forward to a pretty good game. NSG were previously, of course, an ICL team, but are looking a little stronger now with the acquisition of Devils there, and they are going to be subbing in Drained in the mid lane instead of their usual Howl, so we'll see how that does fare for them.
Yeah, the teams, though, were supposed to play their game last night, but unfortunately, due to server issues, they had to reschedule. But both teams have agreed that they're going to keep the same picks for the last game. So I imagine the bans aren't going to give us too many things to talk about. I do think they did agree to spell out their team names, but it looks like NSG have already broken that.
I believe we're about to get CRB sucks.
Yeah.
It is.
There it is. Bit of banter, bit of friendly banter there. But we are going to see the same picks. No pretty much crazy things there. So I don't exactly remember exactly what was picked in the game. I do believe a Karma was involved on the NSG side. But we will have to wait and see what way they want to go for this, guys. And we see Mundo is picked up there for CRB1 for the CRB blue team. And there's going to be Trundle and Elise for Nuclear Storm Gaming.
These are going to just be quick fire picks because they are preset, as Oshin just said. So you get Mundo, Zach, Victor there. And we'll wait basically for the 3 minutes will be the best time to talk about the teams as they just continue to quickly lock in here. But if you look at the Trundle versus Mundo matchup is pretty interesting because obviously the Mundo would have been locked in and Trundle has a decent time against Mundo. Obviously one of the better people at dealing with his tankiness because he could take that all away with the Subjugate.
Yeah, it looks like I was lying, by the way, about the Karma. There was no Karma pick. But yes, absolutely agree. Subjugate just takes away a huge amount of tankiness from that Mundo. And it'd be interesting to see exactly what way Batrastard wants to work with that as well. We've seen Mundo already in the competition. Fox played it for the side of Zodiac Gaming, and he was a monster. No one could deal with him, and it just really, really did just snowball completely out of control. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the teams locked in for this game between Cerberus Blue and Nuclear Storm Gaming. It is going to be Cerberus Blue on the blue side, with one taking Mundo into the top lane, Pick Strict taking back into the jungle, Fate with Victor in the mid lane, and Obey and Terra with Lucian and Alistair in the bot lane or duo lane. And on the purple or red side, whichever you guys preferred, is going to be Nuclear Storm Gaming looking to pick up their first win of the campaign, with Batrastard taking in Trundle into the top lane, Limitless with Elise in the jungle, Drain at the sub taking Ari into the mid lane, and Devils and Slut with Callista and Brom in the duo or bot lane. The team comps now is a huge amount of frontline damage on the side of Cerberus right now. It's going to be very, very difficult for the side of Nuclear Storm Gaming to actually get through the Zac, the Mundo, and the Alistair.
Yeah, and on top of that, their biggest damage source is that going to be that Callista. So it means Callista has to be given the room to jump around so she can get enough Ren stacks to really burst through these guys. So if she can continue to kite them out, though, these fights could be in NSG's favor. A lot of this does also depend on how the early game goes, which is where Elise comes in as an excellent early game ganker, better than Zac as well in terms of the versatility of ganks, whereas Zac needs to land that E to really be effective. Elise has a little more usefulness in the fact that she still has a lot of damage, even if that cocoon does unfortunately miss.
Yeah, a lot of pick potential on the side of NSG as well. You have the charm, you have the pillar as well to a certain extent to kind of disrupt people as well, and the cocoon. So I feel like you land either the cocoon or the charm, it just leads into another form of CC, and they could just find onto Fate, onto Obey, on these two kind of relatively squishy carries. They could cause a lot of trouble because after one of those goes down, there's no wave clear on the side of Cerberus really left. And secondly, there's no damage after that as well. You're really just putting all your eggs into your two carries to make sure they can carry this game.
At the same time, though, that exact reason is why Fate took Cleanse in the mid lane. Don't want to get CC chained with the Cocoon and Charm, so it does give a little bit more safety, especially on the immobile Victor there, who's a little more prone to getting caught out. At the same time, though, it's not necessarily all the eggs in the carry basket, because if the fight goes relatively even, obviously if they get picked off, that fight was never going to go well anyway. But if it goes even, Mundo is hoping to kind of win out in this battle of what would be left as mainly tanks and, of course, the Elise there as well.
Yeah, battle of the handbags, as I like to call it, as they just kind of slap each other with their either their cleaver or the trundle club. But I'm curious to see what way NSG want to work this team right now, because the Callista Braum versus the Lucian Alistair, I'm not actually exactly sure who wins that trade. I would feel instinctively that Lucian comes out on top of that one. But do they want to go for the 2v2? Do they want to go for a lane split and, you know, push them up to the top lane, get an early push and try and use the kind of a higher end of shot calling to win out the early game? A lot of options are available to them, because the Callista does take about 3 items before she becomes a godlike at just kind of, you know, team fighting and kiting.
Yeah, and I think the kiting is going to be the name of the game for that Callista, because being the main damage source, you do have an Ahri, but not really great at dealing with tanks. So I think you're going to have to rely on that Callista a lot in terms of team fight damage. So it's going to really be on Slut as well, on that Braum, to sit in front of him and block things like Victor and Lucian, just one-shotting him out of the equation altogether. But these teams are well practiced enough in that, so we'll see if they can do that. Devil's moving from the top lane to the AD carry, a position he played previously before his stint with Cerberus, so see how comfortable he is on the position, having just changed from another main.
Yeah, the old Cerberus team. So if you are looking at the teams there and thinking two Cerberus teams playing against each other, don't be fooled. Just Limitless and Devils have yet changed their summoner names back onto their new team of Nuclear Storm Gaming. So we are going to see exactly what way they want to work this now. We will be getting onto the rift very, very shortly, and we are here now, ladies and gentlemen, for this game between Cerberus Blue and Nuclear Storm Gaming. This honestly could spell the path for a pretty decent run for either of these teams. It's a pretty important first game for the two of them.
Yeah, and I think the first game for all teams right now is really important, especially in the Swiss round, looking towards possible future matchups as well. The winners having been the two Ferocities and Panda Peanut Butter thus far. And I believe I'm missing the last win there. But yeah, this Zodiac again.
No, Frosty Black, Frosty Red, and Panda Peanut Butter. They're your winners.
And Zodiac was the fourth winner as well, to clear up
yes,
the exact.
Of course.
But yeah,
for some reason in my head I was like, "There's only 4 games, surely."
Well,
completely forgot about the Zodiac. I apologize
for the winner. Yeah, they will be the probable matchups for the winner anyway. So, looking towards those kind of games and continuing to climb through the bracket, as Swiss round is nice to start off with some early points, so you have a little bit more safety, especially with only 6 rounds. You want to get as many points early on, so you don't feel the pressure later on in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, and you want to get that good start as well. So we've seen pretty much, apart from the Infinity Zodiac game, where we really know where to kind of call it, we've seen pretty much the results we expected to see. This is another one of those where Nuclear Storm Gaming, relatively newly formed, the kind of a combo of the old Cerberus and old Trinity Force team as well. So they've got a couple of players in there, as well as Cerberus Blue, who are trying to regain back to the form of the early G series, where they were kind of seen as a more dominating force in the scene. So this is a very, very important game for both these sides.
Yeah, kind of establishing how they're going to perform over the next little while. So see what kind of form both teams are in. At the same time, both teams are playing with the subs, so form mightn't necessarily be consistent. You could see them improve over the course of the tournament also.
We'll have to wait and see how this early game goes now. It's going to be standard lanes for both sides. As we see now, the junglers pretty much on identical sides of the jungle as well. Terra and Obey trying to just get on there, but go to blows. They will get Obey though. That's going to be a lot of damage. The Ignite goes down. The heal, the Ignite's still ticking. Will he go down? Will it be first blood? It won't! So close there for the side of Nuclear Storm Gaming to pick up a good first blood, but they don't get it in the end.
They do get summoners out of Lucian though. The exhaust stayed on Alistair, which was pretty close call on that one. Probably should have used it earlier to allow Callista even off the Lucian. So does end up working out. Both people stay alive.
Yeah, but I wonder now how long Obey can stay in this lane right now, because unlike Devils, he doesn't have a full health bar. Slut took most of the damage, or the return damage, I should say, from that trade. So definitely more in favour. As we see now a move in the boot lane. Oh, it's a great charm. The cleanse goes down. Not quite able to get. He does the charm and the ignite with that cleanse, so he didn't tick over. But again, more summoners being burned on the side of Cerberus Blue. They're really getting full pressure on them right now by Nuclear Storm Gaming.
Yeah, and that's a lot of summoners blown by Cerberus, especially that mid lane is really going to cost them. Losing both the cleanse and the flash this early just means it's going to be so easy for even Ari at 6 to possibly get the kill, but almost certainly a return gank from Limitless.
Yeah, a lot of pressure now on the side of Cerberus as they just try and hopefully scale up this Mundo and just use Victor or Fate on Victor in the mid lane as a just wave clearing machine, as we know he's very, very good at. But as you said, one stray charm like that, a good cocoon, and he's going down. That lane could become very, very, very tough for him very quickly.
Yeah, and something we didn't see the last time we saw the Mundo, of course, is something like the Trundle, those extremely good at hiding out. But 1 second, we're going to have a big trade here.
Yeah, big trade here. It's going to be actually Terra getting caught up as well. He needs to get out of here. They popped the exhaust there. But there's now going to be a TP coming in. He forces the flash out of Devils. Victor's trying to re-engage with the slingshot. The TP was cancelled though. They don't end up losing anything else, and that is a weird exchange of summoners there. They do end up getting Devils' flash and heal. I don't know if that was necessary for both of them to be burned.
I think he was going for the heal just in case the Zac slingshot did land. Didn't in the end, so they were a little bit safer than they thought. But I think the TP as well would have made it a lot worse. But as you said, it was cancelled, so now Bat Rastard with the TP advantage should anything go down in the bot lane from here on.
Yeah, looks like Limitless really wants to put his mark on this game. He's getting the right guy mix off, but not quite last little execution off in the final seconds. And maybe he might look for something here as we see Draenor just misses out on the slingshot. He's going to be able to walk away pretty damn easily. There's the charm, does land onto Pick Street. He won't be able to get out CRB1. Trying to get away, actually forced a flash, but that's nearly getting enough to get up him and nearly securing that kill there. Draenor getting pressured as well by Fate in the mid lane. And also, this is just a lot of pressure being put down by all sides of the map.
Yeah, and I think the big thing as well was going to talk about before the bot lane trade went down, the fact that even if Mundo does manage to scale up, Pillar makes it so hard for him to be effective in fights, because that AoE slow and of course just straight up block means he really can't get around.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to kind of go for it, but he seems to be CSing relatively fine there on the turret. Should pick up nice little bit of CS for himself, self-healthy. But again, it's going to be very difficult to see exactly what way they want to work from this. The Zac, Pick Street has yet to hit a slingshot yet, but we'll have to wait and see what they want to go. Looks like Limitless is back into that bot lane as well, so might see another return gank as they know the summoners are down. He will be back up for Obey relatively soon enough, about 30 seconds or so. And the wave is pushing in favor of NSG. It's pushing towards them.
Yeah, so Limitless just lying in wait. While mid lane is going to probably just be consistently pushed now. They've got just enough damage to the double doors, but here's the gank.
Here is the gank. Terra goes in a little bit too hard. He's in a lot of trouble now. He gets the concussive on to him. He gets stunned up just very little there. He gets the cocoon. There's a good chain CC. But there's a lot of return damage there from Obey, forcing everyone back. Devils has not got the summoners to really go with this. And Slut trying to get something else on top of this. It's still a 3v2, but you wouldn't have guessed it because they are being pushed back, not quite coordinated enough. They tried to jump onto Terra. It didn't quite work out for them. So, decide that now, they're trying to go back on top of this. Terra gets stunned up, but it is going to be the heal from the props as well. They get first to Terra, now they're going to try to jump onto Obey. He gets charmed up, he gets stunned up. It's going to be a double kill going over to Devils, and that was just a good rotation there from the side of Draenor, able to pick himself up another kill, and they were able to get the re-engage.
Yeah, and a good re-engage there, just Draenor coming down. Victor not really in a position to even call it, let alone respond, so pretty easy pickup for them, honestly, but the early gank just not working out because Devils ended up getting chunked out early, and again, something, a little bit of a dodgy call coming out from the side there, and Zac wards out just in case.
Yeah, that was not having the Callisto or the bomb with them. That was definitely a questionable call from the side of NSG. As they look to try and maybe capitalise on an objective from those two kills, but nonetheless, they do end up backing away. See what they want to do now. And the great thing as well about those two kills in the Malay is that it went over Devils' Callista. That is huge for this Callista to be able to pick up. Already got the recurve bow, trying to go towards that Water Cutlass as well. So she will be able to put that Blade of the Ruin King very, very soon. And that's going to be a huge power spike if you combo that with the Randuin, or the Runan's Hurricane, I should say, not Runan's Omen.
Yeah. It will be an interesting build if they decide to go for the Randuin's Omen, but it is unlikely. But the 2 kills on top of the CS advantage as well thus far means that you can probably maintain that CS advantage much easier in the lane now, and it means that at least just that much of an easier time returning to the lane. Is actually going to look for something top, but will be spotted out by a ward here.
Yeah, they do know that he's coming in. One has got his ultimate, it's going to pop out. Cocoon misses, the Toronto pillar goes down. They might have enough burst damage though as he keeps regenning, forces the flash out of Bat Rastard, and they do pick up that kill pretty damn cleanly. And that is going to be more of an advantage as Nuclear Storm Gaming.
Yeah, and a nice little pillar. Maybe a little early on the Cocoon, but didn't end up mattering. Is what cost him his flash though, realistically. So could have just held on to that just a bit longer and the gank would have gone that much better. At the same time though, a kill over to them plus Mundo's ult down for all the 20 seconds it'll be down for, although with the nerfs, little more forgiving for the Trundle.
Yeah, Trundle going to keep going towards that, either that Titanic Hydra or the Ravenous Hydra. I imagine it will be Titanic, just works out a little bit better for him. And, you know, looking towards the kind of the mid-game spike that this Nuclear Storm Gaming team have, they're going about the right way just to kind of continue this game on a snowball in their favor.
Yeah, and like level 6 hit by everyone just about now as well, and has already got the advantages. And nice level 6 in the bot lane as well for them means they can engage pretty much any opportunity.
Yeah, no level 6 on the side of Terra means that they can't obey, and Terra just cannot get at this farm right now. It's being frozen out as Pick Street trying to sneak into this side now. They might try and jump onto Slut. They do end up kind of going onto him. They're still trying to bait this out. Here we go though. He tries to get the down behind me, but is not able to quite get it. No ultimate coming out at the moment. Here we go. The calling gets in, but they use the Fate's call. He knew that was coming. They end up baiting out that ultimate out of the side of NSG's bot lane. They're going to back away. It was a successful gank, but could have been better.
Yeah, on the other side of the map, Noah was chunked out and was trying to look for the dive, but he didn't go far back enough for at least to actually see where he was backing, so has to walk away from that top lane as well. But in the bot lane, we're going to see a return gank.
Yes, the return gank might be coming in. Devils didn't quite actually go, they didn't go in on it. They might look for re-engage now. He's spending an awful lot of time now, Pick Street, in this bot lane. He's now charging up the slingshot. They know it's a little bit of compromise there. They got the TP, here they go. They actually completely missed the ult on the slingshot from Pick Street. That was a bad misplay on the side of Cerberus, and they waste a teleport as well. I imagine they were looking to try and get the 2 kills and then just rotate towards that dragon, but it just wasn't going to happen if they didn't land the slingshot.
Now they're actually going to run into the mid laner and jungler here. They're probably going to have to back off here because this will be a 3v2 against NSG, and that's another slingshot that's not going to land. But the biggest issue with that slingshot was that it didn't have to land. If he decided to slingshot behind them, he had ultimate. He could have knocked them backwards anyway, but tried to go a little bit greedier, tried to land both, and completely whiffed the slingshot and was no position to ult them.
No, and they're going to lose more pressure into this top lane. All of a sudden, a kill and a 20 CS lead in favor of Bat Rastard. And this bot lane is just getting so much harder. 2 kills on the Callista. Devils is playing, as well as a 20 CS lead, and that top turret going down means it's just more and more gold going into the hands of Nuclear Storm Gaming.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about. They do force a lot onto the Callista, and that's going to be a slingshot land.
There they go. They actually try to jump into it. The flash against the Devils. He's away from his support, though. He flashes away. It's going to be Obey trying to go in onto the double tap. Nice Braum ultimate into Cocoon. They maybe have to go for the re-engage of this. Obey's the one who's going to go down, though. Great kiting there from the side of Devils, and Limitless there, able to pick up some there. And now Terra's in a lot of trouble. He has to pop an Unbreakable Will, but he will get stunned up and taken down eventually. There it goes. Limitless picking that one up. And they end up picking up 2 kills off of what looked like a pretty bad engage. Now Pick Street might look to go back into this one. He has no ultimate. He's very low. They don't really have the engage from Fate either. They're going to have to back away from this. But again, Nuclear Storm Gaming just not looking like they're being caught out, but at the same time, just coming out on top in all of these trades.
Yeah, and it's pretty close there from Devils. He actually went back in, autoed a ward at one point, and looked like must have just been a bait though, as he did manage to get his team there just in time before he went down.
And Pat Rastard though, trying to get on top of one, able to take him down though. But the ultimates, both the Subjugate and the Sadism popped. Both top laners in one. He's going to take his anger out onto the Gwamp.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for Mundo now is to try pick up those swiftness boots, because if he has those swiftness boots, it'll just be a little easier to maneuver around some of these slows. At the same time, he's gone for the double cloth armor as opposed to just fully going for that Sunfire, so he's probably going to be building Ninja Tabby instead, which I'm not sure is the correct call for him.
No, I don't really think Ninja Tabby is what you want to be going for, considering that the Swiftness boots are just so strong right now in this meta, and just, you know, giving you that extra little bit of movement speed just actually helps you to maneuver around team fights so much easier. See what way he wants to go with that one in the end, but we are coming up to about the 14-minute mark, 13.5 minutes. We are 0 to 5 in kills in favor of Nuclear Storm Gaming. They've got the one tower. No dragons gone down just yet. They do have a 4,000 gold lead at the moment, and they just have all the pressure they need, especially in this bot lane where it's just from strength to strength.
Yeah, and I can't imagine they will be going for a dragon anytime soon. Nuclear Storm might take it if they have nothing else to take, but right now you have the advantage. You want to push towers instead, as realistically, if a game's looking for a mid-game spike, as they have been looking for it, you don't want to start stacking those dragons, because you don't want it to get to the point of the game where those dragons are really a useful buff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first dragon is still pretty useful. The 6% AD and AP buff is still pretty good, but I do agree with you. You're not going to get any significant use out of those dragons until you hit that 5 dragon stack, which at this stage is looking about like the 15-minute mark. As we see now, one getting taken down, and he has no turret, forced to pop the sadism. Doesn't really want to go back into this, I don't think, as he trying to go on the subjugate, was hit, trying to just kite back onto Batrastard, but he should be able to get out pretty easily enough. And he's just going to be zoned off of this farm again. It'll be a lot harder for him, as we see now Draenor getting jumped on in the mid lane. He nearly gets chunked out though, forced to use the Fear Rush to get out defensively. Limitless back into the mid lane as well, trying to get something with Batrastard. The gravity field going to slow him down. Not quite getting it though. They need to be careful. Limitless, here we go. This Chaos Storm needs to come down. It doesn't go down though. Had already gone down. Passive is going to get popped there on top of Pickstreet. One will not be able to help anyone. That's another 2 kills going over the Nuclear Storm Gaming, and it's not looking good for the side of Cerberus Blue.
Yeah, now they just need to use Batrastard to really take down these towers. The Chomp not being able to hit towers actually was a significant nerf to Trundle's tower push, but at the same time, he's still going to be a complete master of split push in this game, because it doesn't seem that Mundo can deal with them, and it'll get to the point where he's almost able to tower dive him.
Yeah, he will become an absolute monster, this Trundle Batrastard. Really scaling nicely. Has gone with the Titanic Hydra as well, so that will just help him with his split pushing as such. There is a TP advantage on the side of Cerberus Blue, so they might look to take advantage of that, but the Bork already finished up on the Devils' Callista. They really are just starting to put down the pressure. Not a huge amount. 2-level difference right now with Devils and Obey. There's just not a huge amount they can really do about this.
And also the Aegis finished onto Elise just makes that Victor even less useful to his team when he does, specifically because he's the one who's doing the best out of his team so far. It's just going to be even more of a struggle for Cerberus when these team fights come around.
Yeah, we see now they're going to take the game going over in favour of Nuclear Storm Gaming, but now Doubles might find himself in a little bit of trouble. He's forced the exhaust as well. They may try go onto this. They use the Fate's Call though, and they get a huge amount of damage onto Obey. Subjugate goes down. They end up getting up 1 kill. CRV1 tried it coming in on the backside, but he gets stunned up and taken down. It's a double kill. Pickstreet tries to slingshot onto the backside, but he doesn't hit anybody. It's a charm hit onto Fate on the end. And it's going to be a triple kill over to Batrastard. Great re-engage there from the side of Nuclear Storm Gaming. They're going to be able to take at least 2 towers off of this, and possibly even more. Limitless flashes, Cocoons, forces a flash out of Fate. That is going to be the turret in that bot lane, the tier 1 going down. You'll imagine they'll just keep pushing and go for the tier 2 as well.
They're all 5 here, and there's nothing that can really stop him, forcing Terran to stay in the lane as well. Somewhere where he's completely useless. He has no ultimate as well, so he has to just start backing off manually. So it's going to be an easy tier 2 for them, especially with the red buff onto Batrastard. He can back now, maybe grab the Rift Herald as well, just to make his split push that much more terrifying top lane. Or he can just go back and continue to push with his team, as there's a mid lane outer that they can easily group.
Yeah, they are just looking to really go for this now. Fate, I feel like Fate's just been kind of a half a second or a second behind when the action's really happening. He's not been in any of these important team fights, or if he has been, it's been right at the end where the damage is already done. There's just nothing he can do at that stage. They have no real kind of re-engages. Pickstreet's just not hitting any of his slingshots. It's really just hurting the team right now.
Yeah, and I think it's it's difficult for him to respond because his team are getting caught out so frequently and just looking for engages really when they shouldn't be, when Fate's not in position. So whichever side the issue is with, it's just a clear miscommunication between the team as a whole.
Ward's coming down now onto the Rift Scuttlers. Maybe they want to go for that, but it looks like the mid lane turret is going to be the first focus for the side of Nuclear Storm Gaming. Culling comes out, Charm misses. They keep that turret alive for one more or two more waves.
Yeah, but even if you look at just the levels, Obey and Terra stuck level 8. The lowest level on Nuclear Storm is of course the support, but even still he's hit level 9 already, so Obey and Terra are really struggling on this Cerberus side, and they are being given nothing in terms of resources.
No resources at all, and like, if you look at the Cerberus side, Cerberus Blue team, like, you would think this is a pretty safe as well. You've got the Alistair for disengage, you have the Mundo for kind of backline taking out and, you know, making them irrelevant into fights, and you have the Zac for engage as well as the Alistair. So you have a lot to go with. They're just not using their comp optimally as Nuclear Storm Gaming are right now.
Yeah, it's just they haven't been able to find the engages with the Zac or with the Mundo, and with Subjugate on top of them, it seems that neither of them can stay in the fight for the amount of time it gets them to come back after those failed engages. So they really have to start landing their mark, or just stop engaging and try find farm elsewhere, but Nuclear Storm are not giving them a chance.
Yeah, Nuclear Storm really kicking up a storm in this game. They're going to absolutely destroy the Rift Herald just before he goes back into his into the void. At 20 minutes, they picked that one up nicely there. I'm not actually quite sure who got one up. I think it was Bat Rastard. Yes, the Trundle has got the Rift Herald buff into that top lane, and that's going to make it that little bit harder as well for the side of Cerberus Blue to really kind of, you know, push back and get some farm off these lanes.
It means they have to send at least 2 top, because you saw the amount of damage he did to Mundo previously has only gotten worse while this has been going on. 402 now has that makings of a Spirit Visage, so Mundo does much less damage to him. And on top of that, he just has the extra damage from that Doom's Eve buff from the Rift Herald.
See now what way they want to go now. But Rastard's trying to see what one's made of and knock him back a little bit. But I say, what way does Nuclear Storm get? I mean, the game is 100% in their hands. We're already seeing a 9,500 gold lead in their favor over Cerberus Blue. This could be something that they want to kind of, you know, the momentum they want to take from this game and push forward as well, because the games, if they win this one, they're only going to get harder, because they, as you said in the last one, they have the likes of Ferocity Red, Ferocity with their revamped roster as well, looking very strong. Panda Peanut Butter have always been one of those strong teams, so they want to put their mark down and go into their next game with confidence that they can definitely give their all to the next game.
Yeah, and right now they're looking like a pretty confident side. Not many weaknesses being shown against this CRB side, whereas CRB showing that they can't really deal with the amount of pressure that NSG put out in pretty much every lane.
Yeah, it looks like one just going to be able to take out those extra attack speed minions that the Rift Herald gives you. And ooh, Terra, they miss a couple of crucial CC there onto the Cocoon, and Winter's Bite did miss, which means they could have gotten a bit of a stun onto him there. Did force the Unbreakable Will out of him. This 1-4 split push is definitely working out for the side of NSG.
He's probably going to get top tower in this push as well, because Mundo can't really stop him because he has to use the cleavers on Bat Rastard himself. That's what the engage.
Here we go, the engage slingshot was called in now. They try to get something there, but there's so much kite. Devils gets actually chunked. He ends up going down first. Pixtree ends up taking up a lot of damage, doesn't quite go down, but in the end they do end up picking up 1 kill. One though might be taking up a little bit more. He can chew, but Rastard trying to get on top of him. Hasn't really got the mana resources to really push this off though, and yeah, a good engage there from the side of Cerberus. They only pick up 1 kill though, and it's still getting so much pressure up in this top lane. As might be able to pick up a kill. He's looking for it, forces them to away, bashes in anyway, and Bat Rastard able to pick himself up a kill, and nobody is working there, so he's going to be able to get out of that scot-free.
Yeah, odd that no one went up to the struggling Mundo, but that is going to be him walking away. But on top of that, even though the engagement went well for Cerberus, which is what we've been talking about previously they needed to do with their comp, it didn't matter, because the 1-4 split push was maintained, they still end up with a huge objective advantage, even after the fight doesn't go their way.
1 kill to 11 fragments to none, and 5 turrets, none as well. I feel like if Devils didn't die in that last engage, this could have been on course for a perfect game for the side of Nuclear Storm Gaming. But I suppose League of Legends is just a game of ifs and buts at that stage. If you start thinking of, but if this happened and that happened, nonetheless, the results at the moment still remains the same. There is a 11,000 gold lead in favour of Nuclear Storm Gaming. This is very methodical movements from them as they look to try and close this out and pick up their first win of the season.
The Cerberus were worried that NSG had decided to go for that Baron, but NSG pretty comfortable in not doing so. I think what they need to do is just kind of wait for the wave. Maybe, yeah, they're sending Trundle bot, which is the right thing to do here, because you want to send him, maintain a bunch of pressure with him. He'll attract at least 2 to him, and then he can TP up for the Baron.
Yeah, like we now know that one cannot solo against Batrastrid. He just cannot do it at this stage. There's just so much lifesteal and so much just damage, funnily enough, on the side of Bastard's Trundle that there's nothing this Mundo can do. The Titanic Hydra makes it very difficult to deal with as well, with constantly pushing waves. He is going to be the one to deal with it as both top laners got their teleports up. We might see an engage very soon.
Yeah, the difference, of course, being Mundo cannot cancel a TP, whereas Pillar is the perfect way to cancel Mundo's TP should he decide that he needs to join his team. So, see what they end up deciding to do. It's pretty beneficial whether Trundle decides to stay or not. And that's the kind of power position NSG has put themselves in.
Despite all this kind of, you know, the leads and everything like that, there's actually not a lead in the favour of the mid lane. Fate's still doing relatively well. I suppose that is down to the fact that he is Victor, able to do a lot more wave clear very easily and very safely than maybe Draenus Ari will be able to do. So now the 25 minutes into the game, we are looking at around a 11,000, not a 1,000, 1 plus 10,000 gold lead for the side of Nuclear Storm Gaming as they start to do the Baron dance. And with Elise and Kalista, and as we talk about it now, Terra gets caught up by the charm and gets hit with the Fate's Call. Gravity Field trying to zone them out. Terra hasn't gone down just yet though. There it is. Slug picks that one up with the Ignite, and now they can go for the Baron. There's not really a huge amount that the side of Cerberus Blue can do about this.
Batrastrid just going to trade a decent amount bot lane. Is looking very reminiscent of the last fight we saw in top lane.
Yeah, forces out the sadism. All this is happening, the Baron is going down and it will be taken by Nuclear Storm Gaming in an early Ren Devils, but it doesn't matter. They pick that up and that's going to make that split push that so harder for the side of Cerberus Blue to deal with.
Yeah, now they can maintain either a 401, a 104, and it works out perfectly for them, and they have the waves pretty much prepared. They need to send someone up to the top lane prepared a little better, but they wait all of 20 seconds and you have 2 even waves that are pushing up with those Baron minions, and really difficult for Cerberus to deal with it. The only person who can deal with it without dying seems to be that Victor.
Yeah, a lot of weight on the side of Fate right now, as he won't be able to actually clear these waves as easily as they do have that extra little bit of magic resistance on them. But I suppose when nobody tries to question the push, pretty easy for Cerberus Blue to be able to push them back there. So see what Nuclear Storm Gaming want to do. It's the only tier 2 turret they have left is in this mid lane. They have got waves pushing both in top and on the side. The fact that they have both of those tier 1 and tier 2 turrets gone as well means that their minions are doing a little bit more pushing in those side lanes as well, so it makes it a little bit easier for them to try and push these up.
Yeah, and they're making the right call here by sending Drains down to make sure all 3 waves are pushing, because it just makes it that much easier for NSG should maybe the mid lane get cleared out in this big fight. If they have an advantage, they can then rotate down there and they still have a wave of Baron minions to pick up.
Yeah, we've seen the Iceborne Gauntlet finished off as well for Astrid as he looks to just pile on the pressure as well. Just going to defend that cannon minion as well. Well, the sadism was popping. Ratson doesn't care though. He knows that one doesn't really have the damage. Titanic Hydra is going to proc though a little bit. Subjugate goes down. He's going to lifesteal off it, but there goes into the top turret and inhibitor turret going down. Big Street gets caught. Gets passed out. Obey needs to get out of there though. That's a Rommel in Fate's Call, not so good. They're just going to be able to take out Pig Street. That's going to be a Batrastrid going through the entire of Cerberus' Blue's base and going to TP back to the top side to finish off that inhibitor. There's nothing that Cerberus can really do. They have to just give this one up, but possibly even the next inhibitor. Ace has been broken, and I feel like this game is all but over at this stage.
Yeah, 20 seconds to Zach, 30 to Mundo. Looks like Terra's gonna get locked.
Oh, dude. Terra gets caught up by the chain CC, trying to stack up as long as he can. He's actually tanking quite a bit of damage, but it doesn't matter as they're going to be able to take another turret in that mid lane. That's going to be the 2 inhibitors and inhibitor turrets on. Only 1 inhibitor left, and it looks like Nuclear Storm Gaming are looking for total and utter dominance right now in this game. They don't even care about the minions right now. They're going for the full bounty of things. As Pick Street jumps in, gets blown up immediately. Chaos Storm's not going to do anything. That is going to be complete and utter domination for this game. The Baron went down, and that pretty much sealed the deal for Cerberus Blue. The Nexus turrets are yet to fall, but they won't be too long for this world. As Nuclear Storm Gaming take out the first game. And it's actually going to be a surrender vote coming in from Cerberus Blue as they know the inevitable. Nuclear Storm Gaming take the win.